Welcome back to Python scripting for data sciences, right? And part 3, we're going to start with part 3 today. Hope you're doing good and you are waiting for the lecture, I suppose, right? So let's get quickly started with today's topic, which is not going to be some complex things. It's going to be pretty easy. So I'm going to open my IDLE, right? So this is my Python shell. So just start doing some more few things, right? So we learned some different things yesterday, like we learned integer, we learned many different things, and we also learned print, right? Print, we can say like this: hello world. You can say hello world, print, and hello world is printed. And we can even say print inside single quotes. Both the ways, it's string, it's taken as string, even in single quotes, or if you use double quotes, doesn't matter. So I'll use hello world, right? So here we are using it in single quotes, here we're using double quotes, right? It's one and the same thing, right? But yeah, I now have a problem here. For example, I want to use single quotes. I'll say I want to use single quotes, and I want to print, say, about NIITs. I'll say apostrophe S. So now because I have to use single quotes here, and I have to use apostrophe S right here, and say LAPTOP. NIT is laptop. But yeah, this is going to generate an error. What you're trying to close the string literal here. String has entire string, whatever you're writing, collection of characters has to be inside either double quotes or single quotes. But now you wanted to type an apostrophe S, right? What happened? It's taken as a string closer. It's as if string has been closed. It's going to generate an error. Now you're getting invalid syntax error. Now how do you cope up with this? Either you do this in double quotes, and then it's going to be taken as apostrophe S, right? Now you're getting NIT's laptop. Or if you want to do something like this, right? You want to skip, you want to tell Python to skip the spatial meaning of single quote, right? So I'll do one thing. So I'll say, yeah, now I want to print it in single quotes, but I still want this single quote to be taken as apostrophe S, not as a complete string literal close or closure, right? It's not quote closing mark, right? I'm not trying to close my quote here. So now what I do here, I'll just put this, we can say backslash right here. So this backslash means please skip the spatial meaning of this quote, right? The spatial meaning of this quote is you're trying to close it down here, but it's coming in between. I say slash, you're going to skip the spatial meaning and take it as plain text, right? I repeat here. So it is going to be skipped the spatial meaning, right, of this quote, right? Or what you can say, now you can see you're getting NIT's laptop, right? Or what you can say, right, slash, and hash is comment, so hash is taken as a comment by the compiler. You can write anything, it's ignored. Anything that you write here is ignored, will not be taken by the interpreter, which is Python interpreter, right? I'll make you understand theoretically also how interpreter works and different techniques of Python. But yeah, you're just getting started, so I don't want to apply too much of pressure and give you too much of theoretical, right? Practically something that you guys should enjoy, right? And you must enjoy that, right? Okay, so now I have it's also this slash, backward slash also means, right, that take the character as string, right? So now even this is taken as string. So if I don't keep it, now you can see it's getting black. That means I'm closing the quote here, and then this does not have any quote, right? So now otherwise I'll have to go with another quote, right? It's still going to not print because it's going to take it as the complete literal, right? So if you want to print like this in single quote NIIT, and we want still an apostrophe S, which is technically closing the quote, but yeah, you want apostrophe S, you'd say backslash, and the spatial meaning of this quote means its quote is not being executed now. This quote will not be executed now, right? It is going to be printed, right? So it's going to be printed. So I'd say NIT's L laptop. Now you can see it's printing. If you don't use it, it's going to take it as a string closure and it's taken as invalid syntax. So it's going to be that this portion is out of the quote, so it's not understood, right? Now why are we getting this error if I write A? Why are we getting this error if I write B? Why are we getting this kind of error if I write A, if I write B? It's all because of variables. So you'll come to know about that today only, in today's lesson only at the end, right? Okay, now if I say print, right? Or let me start with variables only, right? So let me go ahead and see. First, see your answers. How many of you have answered correctly? Data types. Number one, Amir Nazir is the first one to answer. Congratulations. Integers, floating point, complex numbers, escape sequences. Yeah. Built-in functions. I did not ask for built-in functions and iterators, right? But yeah, it's good. We have integers, floating point numbers, complex numbers, right? We have strings, we have raw strings, we have triple quoted strings, we have boolean types. Yeah, you are going to learn everything, Amir. And we have this OB air. He is in air. I don't know. Why don't you keep your profile names real? So this is actually very bad. It's not professionalism, right? You should have your profile names as your real names. Why don't you like your real name, right? Okay, so I'm not going to name him because it's OB here, but still, yeah, integers are going to be 10 to 9, etc. Long, float, right? Complex. All right, so it's good. And we have this Rishi Firdos answering integer is going to be 0 to 9 and floating point is going to be 9.4. Yeah, character, single word. Yeah. What are the data types? Numeric, sequence, Jasir Kadri, Boolean, set and dictionary. Yeah, very good, Jasir. Some are missing, but yeah. Zahid Hussain is answering integers, complex numbers, floating points, strings and Boolean type. Right. Zakir is also answering the data types are defined string, numbers, list, tuples. Yeah, absolutely. Python supports 4 types of numeric data, integer, long. Yeah, you'll come to know about everything, right? Slowly and steadily. If Fatandrabi has answered that we have integer, float, char, string and Boolean, right? Good one. Yeah. Hamad. Is it Hamid or Hamad? Right, int, long, float, complex, string and Boolean. Absolutely right. And we have Abid Nabi. I was a bit late. You cannot be late. You have missed your attendance. Numbers is equal to numbers. Python supports 2 numeric data: int, long, float, complex, string, marks, list. Yeah, absolutely all right. Abid Nabi is spot on. Right, and we have Sam Hanan at the end. After 24 hours of the lecture, he's going to answer. Okay, fine. Yeah, not bad. So let me get going with the same today. So what are data types in Python? Right, so that's what was the question. What are the data types in Python? Right, so I'll just answer data types in Python. Right. Alright, let's start with data types in Python. So we have number one. We have many, but yeah, I'm going to show you one by one. First is int. As I said, integer is going to be 0 to 9, right? And then we are having char. As I said, right, it is going to be a single character, and then we had string, which is going to be collection of characters. For example, cat, right? And we are going to have float. Right, so float is going to be floating point representation 9.0 something. All right, and Boolean. I'll just keep focus on these only. Right, so let us not learn more than these only. Right, so now another thing is like that. Now what we are doing here, for example, we are saying 10 and say plus 10, right? That is 20. Now what if in programming the basic logic says that you need to store values, right? For example, if you go out to buy milk, You buy milk from the shop and you store it somewhere, basically, right? You don't drink milk. It's as good. Now you are telling 10 plus 20, it's 30. So now it's as if you are drinking the milk, at the shop itself, right? So that's not going to be, that's not the best case, right? What you need to do is store it. Now we introduce variable concept in variables in Python. Right? Now, what do you mean by variables in Python? So I'll tell you. I will say this A is equivalent to, now this is an assignment operator. I'll say A is equivalent to 10. What happens? I'm taking this 10. I say, hey Python, you mind if you take this 10 and assign it to A? Now it's assigned to A. I'll say B is equivalent to 20 now. Alright, I'll say, hey Python, you mind if you take this 20 and assign it to B? It's okay, done. And I'll say that, hey, you mind if you print, right? Or you can say like this, you mind if you assign to C A plus B? Now it's assigned. You mind if you do print, you mind if you print C for me? What is inside C? And now you can say C has 30. Now what is happening here is, right, so now what is variable and what is this all happening, in here? I'll just change it here. I'll just keep it like this, and I'll just keep it like this. Now this is called as variable assignment. So now what is variable in Python? Variable is a store, we can say, or is a container, right? It's a container which stores, right? Or we can say it's a container and it stores data inside it, right? That's the best definition that I can find. It is the container, right? And it stores what? Data inside it. So it is a container, right? Just like you go out, you buy milk, you have a different container. You go out and you buy bread, you have a different container. You buy bread in a basket, you don't buy bread in polythene, right? Will you be able to buy milk in a you can say net basket? No, it's going to drop, right? It's not going to contain, right? So that is the case here. That variables in Python are stores, right? Now you can see A is a variable, it's a store. B is a variable, it's a store. And C is a variable, it's a store. Now what does it store? It stores data inside it, right? Now this is equivalent to is known as an assignment operator. I'll write it down. Is equivalent to is known as an assignment operator. So this is equivalent to is known as an assignment operator. So I have to remember this always, always, and always. Don't forget it, right? So now this is called as an assignment operator. And assignment takes place from, right? It takes place from right hand side and it goes to left hand side. It's as simple as anything, right? So assignment takes place from left hand side and it goes to right hand side. It's not is equivalent to. I'll not say that A is equal to 10. It means that A, the value of A is equal to 10. No. Assignment, right? What is happening? A is a variable, a container being declared right now, right? And it takes 10, right? What does it take? It takes 10 as a value, right? And we can see we are assigning. You can clearly see here assignment operator means that you're assigning from right hand side to left hand side. Right hand side has 10 and has in between we are having an assignment operator, right? And what we are doing with this assignment operator, we are assigning 10, right? You can clearly see here we are assigning 10. We're assigning this 10 to A, right? Now how much A has 10 because it has been assigned. As I said, assignment takes place. Whatever is from right hand side will be assigned to the container which is at left hand side. Whatever is at right hand side will be assigned with the help of assignment operator to whatever is at left hand side. Now what you are doing here, you first adding them. Let's say A is equal to 10, which means A has now 10, B has now 20. What is A plus B, which is 20 plus 30, right? 20 plus 30 will go to this C, and then you say print. Now 20 plus 30, that is A plus B. 20 plus 10, which is 30. You're first adding two values and then assigning them back to C, and then what you do, you print out this C as well, and then you're getting this print out right here, which is 30, right? So you're getting this 30 right here, right? So now I hope you have understood now, but there are different ways, because I said what are data types in Python. Now you understood it, right? Data type is int, char, string, float. What are variables in Python? Variables are simple containers that store data in Python, but we have different type of variables, right? So that is what data type is. Now what is the type of data here? That is int, right? You can see the int, right? Now what is the data type of this variable? You can say int. Now if you want to see that, how do you see that? I will say, hey, will you please tell me the type of A? Right? You can say type of A. Now you can say type of A is class int, right? Now it's clearly suggesting that it belongs to class int, right? So that is what data type is. Now as soon as you supply integer to this A, because in Python we have something known as automatic assignments, right? You don't have to define the type of the data. It's automatically. Type of the data is defined automatically by the value you're supplying here, right? I say, let me try it once again. So I will say num1. Now num1 is a variable we are declaring. What is a variable? Just a container to hold values. I will say num1 is equal to 100, right? Now 100 has been assigned to num1 with the help of assignment operator, and I'll say num2 is equal to 200. Now this 200 with the help of assignment operator is assigned to num2, right? And now what we can do, just a moment. Okay, so now what we are going to do here is the for. Alright, there was something wrong with the system, so we are back now. Alright, so now what we are doing here, assigning 100 to this num1, and I will say I will assign 200 to this num2. So num1 takes 100 and this num2 now takes 200, right? Is that clear? Now we can also say that 100 has been assigned to num1 and 200 has been assigned to num2. Now I can say num3 is equal to, right, I can say num1 plus num2. We are getting it, right? Now if you say I want to print num3, you can go with num3, or you can say print num3. It's one and the same thing. Now you can say you have printed num3 right here, which is 300. You can even say num3 is equal to, right, num1 minus num2. Now you can see if you say num3, it is going to be minus 100, because you are doing, you can even say like this, num3, because the value is already, now you have stored value in num2 and you already stored value in num3. So that is what is the case right here, right? Because once you have already stored values, so then what you are going to do, you are going to now manipulate values. You can say num3 is equal to num1, right? And you can say multiplied by num2. So you can now print num3, right? It is going to be 20,000. So see the magic, right? So this is how variables work, right? I repeat, what are variables? They are containers, but yeah, they're not normal containers, right? So revised definition, right? Revised, we can say what is a variable. So it's as simple as anything, right? So it is basically, okay, now answer is this, right? It is a container that holds, right, that holds the value, that holds the value, right? It's a container that holds the value of a proper or of an value of an appropriate data type, right? And the value inside the variable, right, may change or may vary. That is why it is called as vary, which is variance, right? That is why it's called as variable. It's not only the container. If I have said or if I wrote here, it holds the value of appropriate data types. Now, what is an appropriate data type? Appropriate data type is that it can either take int, it can take string, it can take, right? Now the appropriate type here is, now you can see it's a container. Is it the container A here? Yeah, it is taking value, right, of an appropriate data type. What value is taking appropriate? It is taking integer type value here. All right, now it's very good. And now what is this? It's also doing the same. But now how does they vary? Now you can say it varies. Let me clear it out for you. Okay, let me clear it out for you. For example, I'll say num1, or let's say I'll say n1 is equivalent to 100 and n2 is equivalent to, let's say, about 200, right? I'll say 200 plus I'll say n1 is equivalent to 200 and n2 is equivalent to 50. Is that clear? Right? So n1 is equivalent to 200 and n2 is equivalent to 50. Now I can say n3 is equal, or assignment operator, n1 plus n2. Now you tell me, 100 has been assigned to n1, n1 has 100 now, n2 has been assigned by 50, n2 has 50 now, n3 has the addition, that's 100 plus 50, which is going to be 150. That's true. If I say n3, now it contains a data of appropriate type. If I say type of n3, and you'll see it is integer type. n3 contains integer type data. That's understood. But now what is that? It varies. I said variable is also something that varies. Variable is a container, but it varies. Now how does it vary? I can say now n3 now has here 150. If I if I say print n3, and you'll see you're getting 150 right here. Aren't you getting 150? Yes, you're getting 150, right? Or you can say n3, you still get 150. Now if I say how much is n1? n1 is 100. How much is n2? n2 is 50. How much is n3? n3 is 50. I'll say, okay, wait a second. Now reassign. n3 will be getting, right, we are assigning something to n3 which is n1, right, multiplied by n2. So now we are reassigning. It already had 150. Now we are reassigning. Now if I print, n3 has 5000, which is 100 into 50 is equivalent to 5000, right? That is what is happening. Oh, sorry, we had 100, yeah, that is 100, no, n1 has 100, n2 has 50, so that is going to be 505, that's 5000, right? So now n3 earlier had a different value, now it has a different value. Now you can say n3 now has a different value. Now you can say n3, it has 5000. Now I can again make sure it varies. I can say n3 is equivalent to n1, or we can say, yeah, minus n2. Now we can say n3 has now 50. Now the value is not consistent, right? The variable means something that varies. First it had 150, then it had 5000, now it has, right? I can say, like, for example, if I create now a different type of variable, right? The type here was integer, right? Now if I create different type of variable, first let us try and close it down. Did you get it? So I'll try and close it down, right? So now what is a variable? That holds values, right, of appropriate data type, and they can also vary. Assignment takes place from right hand side to left hand side, and that's it. So now if you go ahead with some other variables, for example, say I will say f name is equal to, which is the first name. Now it is string. I have to pass it in string. If I write a, so it's going to search for a variable by name a. So we don't have any variable, right, with the name a. So that's why it's throwing error. String will always go in double quotes. I will say first name is equivalent to Fahim, and I'll say last name is equivalent to Khan, right? Now f name has Fahim and L name has Khan. As simple as anything. Now if I say I want to print, right, I will say full name is equivalent to f name plus L name. Now why are you adding? It's not integer. Yes, if it is not integer, it is going to concatenate. Now you can see if I say print full name, right? Now you are getting Fahim Khan, right? So now what is happening here is the following, right? I'll just take it here like this. Now what is the type of this variable? If I tell you, now the type here is, what is the type? Type is equivalent to string, right? Because you have entered collection of characters. So now if I say, hey, will you please show me the type of f name? And you can see the type of f name is str, which is string, right? Which is str, right? So the type here is string, which is str, right? Okay, now so it's also same, but yeah, this plus right here. Okay, so I'll write it down here. The plus operator, this is an operator. All plus minus is equivalent to, all signs are operators, will add two numbers, right, or will perform so it's going to perform mathematical, or we can say math operation, right? Operator will perform a math operation on int or float types, right? So it is plus operator is going to perform, right, math operation on integer or float data types, right? But I'll write it down here, but, or it's not about but, so let me say and will, right, so it's going to concat and will concatenate two chars or strings, right? So now here, if I supply plus operator, it's going to add, for example, if I supply 10 plus 20, there are two data types which are of type integer, so it's going to apply math operation. If I say 10 minus 30, so it's going to apply, 10 minus 30, so it's going to apply a mathematical operation here, or 30 minus 10, right? So it's going to apply mathematical operation. Now what if I say FAHIM plus KHAN? It's going to join them, right? And joining is known as concatenation. So that's what we call concatenation. The same operator is doing mathematical operations between two variables or two data types, right? And the same variable or the same operator is going to add two or maybe concatenate two variables. So it happens like this. Let me show you once again. A is a variable that holds 10. B is a variable which holds 20. C holds, right? C will be assigned by A plus B. So it's always right hand side will be executed first, then left hand side. What is right hand side? A plus B. 10 plus 20, 30 will go to right hand side. And if we can check the type of A, B and C, you will see it is integer. But what this plus has done, it has applied mathematical operation because the type is int. Now let us say if we have the type as string. So I'll say first name NIIT, right, and I will say L name, which is the last name. I will say Srinagar, right? And now I say, right, I'll say full name is equivalent to f name plus, okay, I have just done it wrong here. Okay, it's my mistake. I've done it wrong here. F name is equal to NID and still F name is equal to NIIT, right? Okay, let me do it another. So I'll say F name is equivalent to NIIT and L name is equivalent to Sri Nagar, right? So let me give it a bit of space, okay? So now F name takes NIIT and L name takes, that's what you know now, you're very aware of. So I'll say full name is equivalent to, now you can say F name plus L name. So this is where we apply magic, right? And I can now say here print full name, which is NIIT Srinagar, because now you can say the same plus operator has concatenated. Why? Because the type of F name, L name is str string. So same plus operator adding two numbers and same plus operator, right? And I'm just putting more focus on this so that you remember it. Variable, it varies, right? Variable is something that varies the value. You cannot have consistent value in a variable. You can take, for example, I'll say a is equivalent to 100, right? A is equivalent to 100. Sorry, a is equivalent to 100, right? And I can say b is equivalent to 100. I'll say a plus b 200. Now I can say b is equivalent to 200, right? And now I'll say a plus b. Now you get 300. Now b earlier had how much? 100. Now I'm reassigning b. 100 is going to go and 200. I'm assigning the same variable with 200. So that's why I say a variable contains the values or of appropriate data types, and those values can vary. Now you can see how do you, or what do you mean by varying? Earlier b had 100, now b is having 200, same b, right? So this is how we say that it can vary. It is a container that holds the value of appropriate data type, but yeah, they vary. Now can I do something like this? If I say I need to add 1.5, right, and I need to add it with 3.0, now we can see this is 4.5. Now if I say num1 is equivalent to 1.5. Now what is the type of num1? I'll say num2 has been assigned with 3.5. Now what is the type here? I'll say, hey, you mind if you show me the type of num1 or num2? You can clearly see now the type is floating point representation is here. The type is float. It's not, it's basically clearly understood. Even a child can understand that now the data type is absolutely float, right? Or we call it floating point representations, right? So now the data type is of that data is of type float here, right? And you can easily now maneuver and you can easily now understand now what kind of data. Now what is num1? It is a variable. What does it hold? What is the type of num1? Float. What does it hold? 1.5. What is 1.5? Floating value. Now if I say I need either num3 is equivalent to num1 plus num2. Now num3 is nothing. The type of num3 will be decided by the value supplied to num3. Now the value supplied to num3 is num plus 1, 2. Num1 plus num2. This is floating value. Now even the type of num3 will be float. Now if I say num3, you're printing 5.0. It has points, so now if you can check, the type of num3 is float, right? Now you can clearly see this, okay? This is how we can test the type, right? So I'll just keep it here so that I can share with you this in the, okay, now you can see this, right? Okay, just let me get rid of this. Okay, fine. Okay, let me just keep it here. Alright, so let me now print screen and use it here. Okay, fine, that this is done. So this is how your floating point representation is going to work. So right, checking, or we can say checking float type, right? So now you understand what is float and what is what is string and what is char, right? So a is equivalent to, let's say, about a is equivalent to h, and we can say b is equivalent to c. It's taken as string, but it is actually a char. I can say a plus b, so we will get hc. Now this is char. A is equivalent to hello. Now I'm using the same a, right? That means it can vary now. A is equivalent to hello, and b is equivalent to, I can say, w world. Now you can say a plus b concatenation, I'll get hello world. So this is string, right? And now type of the variable is decided by the value supplied to the variable. If I supply char, so now the type of the variable here is char. If I supply a string, so the type of the variable here is string. If I supply something else, let me take a look at timing. So we still have a good amount of time left, right? So the type of the variable will certainly be dependent on the value supplied to the variable. Here if I supply 100.2, so now, sorry, what is this? I is equivalent to 100.2. So now if I go and print I, now the type of I is what? Now let's see. It's going to be float, right? But now I can change it. I can say I is equivalent to 100. Now because it varies, variable is something that varies. Now if I check the value type of I, it is int. So value of the type or the variable type is certainly dependent on the value supplied. If you're supplying string, it can be string. I can use same I. Now what is the type of I? It is going to be string, right? Do you understand it, right? Alright, so now I hope you got this part very well, and we can apply some more operations, and let me show you the magic of Python. And you know, those who will come till 20th class, or maybe if you are able to complete first 20 parts, you will find the magic. You'll find the magic going on with you. You'll get that abstract thinking. It's not only that you want to be programmers or developers. We're not doing for the sake, right? Programming means problem solving. Once you become problem solvers, you tend to search for solutions rather than cry for problems, right? And that way your abstract thinking increases, your leadership skills increase, your mental strength increases, right? And you try and search for solutions rather than crying for problems, right? And that is the magic of programming. That's why they've included now in 12th and 11th and some other classes. Now even CBSE starts Python with 8, right? But yeah, that's going to be basic Python, but we are going to take you, it's not going to be a crash course. As I said, we're not going to hide anything, right? We're going to provide everything up to the extent possible under us. But yeah, in that case, still you have to work very hard yourself, right? You cannot be dependent, right? You need to open, after the class is over, as soon as the class is over, you need to open your laptop and start practicing it, right? Without even wasting much of your time, right? And practice and be in sync with me, right? And you will see magic happening in 20 days only when you are consistent. And that is going to create that sort of belief in you that, hey, I'm not now studying, I'm learning different things, I'm learning techniques, I'm talking to computer, right? That passion should be there, right? Do not miss, always try and attend class on its appropriate time, right? All right then. So there are a few more things. For example, if I have to print, I'll say, hey, I need to print this NIIT for 20 times. So I can say print this 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we are getting NIT for 4 times. What if I need it for 20 times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. Maybe like this. So you can see now you're printing. Now, what is the programming? What is the fun of using Python then if you're using like this? No, you cannot do it like this. Say, hey, I want 10 multiplied by, right? I want this NIIT. Now let me say this first of all. Okay, let me tell you. I can say like this. I need to print NIIT for 10 times. Now you can say 10 multiplied by NIIT. That means you're printing it 10 times, right? Or you can say you can give a space. Yes, you can even give space. Single quotes, double quotes, both mean string, so you need not to worry. like with spaces, NIIT 10 times. Now, or you can say name is equivalent to NIIT, right? Now you can say here 10 into name. Now you're printing name 10 times right here, right? So it is as simple as anything. If you want some spaces, you can even say name is equivalent to, give it a bit of space, NIIT, and you can say 10 multiplied by name, and you're printing it 10 times, as simple as anything, right? Alright, so now let me show you a few more things right here. Now if I say print, right, the directory name. Tomorrow you may be handling files, or you may be playing with files and taking care of files. File handling, import, export is there. IO streams is there, and wherein you have to mention these file names. So now if I say print C colon, right, so maybe you're printing your directory name, right? Maybe C column is a directory and it has something already in it, so you know that, and you basically know what is in it, right? So you're printing C colon, and what I do right here is let's say about, if I say I want to go inside C column slash doc, so there's no problem, it's still going to print this as well. But what if I say I want to print I want to print C colon, and I want to go to slash, I want to print slash docs and NIIT, right? Now here the problem arises, because now what is going to happen, now you can see this here, what is happening, C column, yes, it has come, slash docs, yes, slash docs has also come, but what has happened, slash n has not come. You have escaped, you have missed on this slash n right here, right? Where is slash n? Fine. What has happened here is that this slash n means next line. For example, if I say print NIIT and then I say slash n Srinagar. Now let's see what happens. Right? Now let's see what happens. Now you can clearly see what is happening here, right? I'll again show you. If I say, let me not give a bit of space, too much of space right here. I'll say NIIT Srinagar. Now you can see NIIT Srinagar. Slash n actually means next line, right? It means go to next line, right? Okay. And now what you are trying to do here, once you say, hey, I need to go to C column slash docs slash NIIT. The moment you say that I need to go to this directory, but you forget. What you forget is that you are having slash n here. That is why it is going to come in the next line. Slash n, if it's taken as next line here, it is taken as next line here. That's why you're getting IIT in the next line and C column slash docs in the first line. Now, how do you cope up in case you having this problem in near future, right? How do you cope up with this, and how do you solve this, and how do you basically get rid of this problem? What I can do right here, I can say, hey, wait a second, I want this entire thing to be taken as a raw string, right? Raw string means string which cannot be executed, only printed. Then we are telling that this is only print material, this is not execute material. I repeat, only print material. So raw string, printed as it is. Printed as it is. Doesn't matter whatever it has, plus, minus, whatever it has. Take it as raw string, do not execute anything. Now you can see, the moment I fix this R, means in front of this, it means R is as a raw string. So I'm telling that take it as a raw string and print it as a raw string. I can take this thing as well. For example, if I say path is equivalent to C column slash docs NIIT, and I can say print path. Now we're still going to get the same, right? We're still going to get the same. Now if I say path is equivalent to, right, I can say path is equivalent to raw string right here, and then if I say print path, now Variable can also hold a raw strings. Now it's taken completely. So this means take it as raw string, do not execute, but only print whatever is in it. And what is slash n? Slash n means escape sequence. Slash n in almost all the programming languages, be it C, be it C++, Java, Enterprise, all the programming languages take it, right? So slash n is next line in almost all the programming languages, right? Okay, so we're just telling you don't try to convert it, take it as plain string. So, as simple as anything, right? And now, coming back to your question, right? What is this? This is called as a variable name. For example, I say num1. If tomorrow someone asks you, what is this? This is called variable name. Now, what is this? This is variable value. Variable name, variable value. I repeat, variable name and variable value. Always remember this, right? Okay, fine. So you understood variable, you understood each and everything, you understood variables, you understood string, right? And you understood how do we concatenate. Let me take a look at timings now. Yeah, we still have some good amount of time remaining. So let me give you the recap of what we have learned so far. I'm trying to go pretty slow. I'm trying to re-explain or more than explain things, which is not going to be the case in the near future, right? Yeah, because many of you are starting as from extreme basics, or from a point wherein you do not have idea about programming. That's why I put my emphasis on this more, so that I keep on hammering. Once I keep on hammering, telling the same thing again and again and again, that's called as hammering in teaching. So once I keep on hammering you, telling the same thing again and again and again, so it's finally going to go through your brain and keep it or be there for the rest of the life, right? So now you can see this. What is this, sir? This is variable name. So or let me give you the final verdict of this, right? All right. So now what is this? This is variable name. So I'll just take it here, variable name. Okay, let me take it here. What is this? This is variable value. And what is this? This is assignment, right? As simple as anything. So I'll write it down, variable name. And what is this? Variable value. And what is this? Assignment, right? So plus is assignment, this is variable value, all right? And here the type is, now what is the variable type here? Now you can say, what is the variable type? Now could you please tell me what's the variable type? I'll say answer yes, right? Type of the variable depends depends on the value supplied to the variable, right? So for example, right, if we assign 10, right, so the variable type will be int, right? And if hello, right, so then the type, right, will be the variable type will be string, right? string, which is str in our case, right? If 10.4, type will be float. So that is what I asked you yesterday, right? Which many of you, maximum of you, did not answer, right? So I asked you about the data types, right? If I go back to the ideally here, I asked you about data types yesterday, right? Didn't I? I said, please tell me all the data types available in Python. And you replied with float is there, int is there, char is there, right? Now, why are they known as data types? What do you take? What do they take? What does it take? And number one, it takes data. What is data? 2. What is the type of it now? Right? As I said, that every data type has a appropriate type. right? When you go out to buy milk, you have an appropriate container for that, to cook appropriate container, to take tea in appropriate container, right? So that is how it happens, right? And that's how it's all related about, right? And okay, I think it's good for today. So from tomorrow we're trying to increase 5 minutes every day. I'll try and increase the duration of lecture by 5 minutes each and every individual day, so that you also get an idea of things and what is happening. And now for today, I need you to answer me the following question, right? Is string, now this is the question, right? Those who do not answer will finally be removed, you know that. Is string mutable or immutable? Is string, right? String is a data type. And now, is this string mutable or immutable? So this is your question, right? Second question with this is, what is immutable, right? The first question is string mutable or immutable, right? So, and if you have to search, that's what I'm giving you. I know you don't know it, but I just want you to do search. You believe in yourself. This kind of search will create that belief in you, right? Once your instructor tells you anything, that has a deep value and that has deep meaning behind it, right? What you got to do is follow your instructor. Is string mutable or immutable? Before we start next class, please answer me. Write down in the comment section, only down in the comment section, let me know, is string mutable or immutable? And if you say it's mutable, why it's mutable? If you say immutable, why it's immutable, right? Is string mutable or immutable in Python? I repeat, is string mutable or immutable in Python? Simple. If you Google it, it's going to answer you. But yeah, while Google answers you, please try and get what Google says, because I will explain it to you tomorrow, right? So before I explain, I need you to also do your homework up to the extent, right? Until then, it's going to be a real fun. Those who thought of Python being tough, those who thought of programming being tough, would finally today realize that it's very easy. It's just childish job. Only it requires a bit of patience and consistency from you guys, right? Consistency will only come when you attend the class at the proper time, right? I wish you all the best and see you tomorrow with the answers, right? Bye-bye.